So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by, should we say, welterweight prospect now, Joshua Pagan.
Super lightweight.
Super lightweight, because I looked on BoxRec earlier, you were a bit heavier in your last fight, but was that just because when the weigh-in was, or?
Yeah, it was a bit of a last minute fight, but
Uh,
I was in training camp and everything. I was walking around 147, so I was like, I'll take it.
so you're super lightweight is a great division in its own right at the moment. You're not quite at world level yet, but you're fast rising, 8-0, 4 KOs, a great amateur career behind you as well. How do you think things are going so far? Has it moved quicker than you thought it would?
I feel like things are moving at a great pace. I'm loving that I'm fighting at a consistent basis. It's what I was used to fighting as an amateur. I fight every week. But it's been great. It's a great experience so far.
You won a US national title just in 2021, so we're not that far into the pro journey. But how easy is it? And I suppose this is something we'd have to ask your management as well. But to find you opponents and to get you fights, because I can't imagine people are queuing up to take you on.
Yeah, there's been a few times where I'd have an opponent lined up in a fight and they would drop out or something. But just it's all about being patient and just taking what's given to me, honestly.
And let me take you back a bit to when you first got into the sport. What was it that brought you in? What first attracted you to boxing?
What really got me into it was my dad. My dad used to box when he was younger, and I always wanted to be like him. It's like he always inspired me. So I was like, I want to give it a shot. And we always used to watch Floyd Mayweather, his big fights growing up as a kid. So it's always been in my life, boxing. So, when I was old enough, I gave it a go.
And how old was that? When did you start?
I started at 13.
Okay, so later than I expected, considering how much you went on to achieve in the amateur side. Were you doing other sports as a kid? Was that why you didn't devote your time to boxing until later?
No, it was just I was just going to school, just living my life. But I guess later on I started liking it more and more, and there's just the urge to want to do it really, like, it got higher. So I finally asked my parents. I was like, I'd like to start boxing.
And how involved is your dad now with your career and stuff? Does he have much input, or do you train with him or anything?
Yeah, he's really my advisor, and he's with me everywhere I go. My trip to Puerto Rico, he came with me. He's my motivator. Like, he motivates me, and he keeps me level headed.
We're going to talk about that trip to Puerto Rico. I'm sure that won't surprise you, but I want to find out a bit more about you first. Just tell us a bit more about your training setup now. Like, who do you work with? Where are you based out of?
Yeah, so I'm out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm working here downtown. I meet up with my coach and my dad. I train in the morning, and then in the afternoon I train again. I have like a strength workout program in the morning, and then I get my run in the middle of the day, and then later in the day it's boxing training.
And who is your coach? Tell us a little bit about them and how you guys got together.
Yeah, my coach is Steve Maniaki, and my dad, of course. But I've known Steve for over a decade now, since I started boxing. So it was always amateur training uh, until I turned pro. That's when we really started like working on just improving our pro game and just learning different tricks and stuff like that.
What made you decide to turn pro at the time you did? I know obviously an Olympic cycle had not long finished, so you would have had to wait if you wanted to get on that Olympic team for a few years. Did that play into it, or you always wanted to turn pro around that age?
Honestly, I always just wanted to be pro. Uh, I felt like it was the perfect timing to do it because I feel like I finally got to where I wanted to get. I wanted to win the national tournament,
Mm.
and I felt like I had opportunities that opened up to me. So when I got the opportunity, I took it.
And why Salita Promotions to look after you?
Yeah. So my teammate, actually, Joseph Hicks, he got me in touch with Dimitri, and he told me that he was signing with Dimitri as well. So we sent him some tapes, and within a couple hours we talked to him, and one thing led to the next. We got a contract, and we went from there.
You mentioned earlier that you and your father used to watch a lot of Floyd Mayweather when you were growing up. Was he an influence on you stylistically, and who else were you influenced by?
Yeah, he was definitely a great influence. Just his defensive style, and just how he carried himself, his discipline, his drive, consistency, that always motivated me to just be in the gym and just year in, year out, just training all year long, you know. And there's been other influences as well, like Manny Pacquiao. I grew up watching him as well, one of my favorites. Miguel Cotto, Tommy Hearns, Muhammad Ali, just all kinds of fighters, just watching different styles and just taking a few things from out of their books and adding it into my game.
When you eventually get to championship level on the world stage, do you expect to still be a 140 fighter?
Yeah, I definitely see myself being 140 for at least 4 or 5 more years. It's not hard at all making the weight. I still feel really good at that weight. So we're gonna take it fight by fight and see where it goes.
And before we talk about your recent trip to Puerto Rico, I want you to give us a rundown of the little collection you've got going on behind you. So the action figures, the Wheaties box. Give us a bit of a rundown.
So I'm a gamer as well. So I have my Xbox right here. I have a Wheaties box, Muhammad Ali. I ate the cereal, but I just wanted to keep the box. It was really cool. I have these Funko Pops. It's like The Sopranos. Yeah. One of my favorite shows ever. Actually, my favorite show of all time. Just different gaming collectibles. I got this when I was a kid. Rocky Balboa.
Oh yes.
So I just kept it, and I just put it up for display in my room. It's just something that keeps me occupied outside of boxing. It keeps me relaxed, watching my favorite TV show, playing my favorite video games. It keeps me mentally calm going into a fight or just preparing for a fight.
Who's your favorite character from The Sopranos?
Of course, Tony. Tony Soprano. But
you'd be surprised. Not everyone says Tony.
I say my second one is
Uncle Junior out there.
Uncle Junior, Paulie. They're very funny characters, but yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Now, I want to talk to you about the trip to Puerto Rico because one of the main things you did while you were there was spar Jake Paul, who's got a big fight of his own on Saturday against Nate Diaz. I guess first of all, just tell us how this pairing came about.
Yeah, so my promoter, he knows the coach, which is we call him Third. He comes out of Crunk Gym.
Yeah.
And I felt like it would be a great opportunity to just learn from him, learn a few things from the Crunk style, because I'm a taller fighter. So I feel like learning how to box better and just learning different things from him would really benefit me. So Dimitri got a hold of him, and he happened to be in Puerto Rico at the time because he's training Jake Paul for the Nate Diaz fight coming up. And he got us into contact with them, and one thing led to another, and we ended up flying out there to train.
And what was that experience like, training, I suppose, alongside Jake Paul, but more importantly, with one of the Kronk trainers?
It was an amazing experience. I was learning something new every single day, and that's the most fun part about training with new trainers or something. Just you're taking knowledge and you're incorporating it into your fight style. So it's just a great experience all around, just learning from him.
And you
I'm sorry. And also Shane Mosley was there too.
Oh, so yes.
Learning from him as well, learning from a legend like himself, that is a great honor.
He must have been someone that you were watching as a kid as well. If you were that era where you had Cotto and Mayweather and so on, Mosley was slightly older, but still in that generation.
Yeah, I was watching all the fights, especially Mayweather versus Mosley. That was like, as a kid watching her hurt Mayweather, like the whole house went crazy, you know.
Did,
So I just have great
did you
memories.
speak to him about that fight?
I did.
You know,
I told him how excited everybody got, and we're all going for him and stuff like that. And you know, it was just a great conversation we had.
oh, I bet he loved that. And is it right you sparred Jake Paul?
I didn't spar Jake Paul,
You didn't.
but I trained alongside him.
Okay.
And I can tell you one thing, he works really hard. He he's taking this fight 100% serious, and I have no doubt that he's going to win Saturday night.
What impressed you about him? I know the work ethic, everyone always talks about that, but from a boxing side, was there anything that stood out to you?
He's an athlete, you know, like just in our running on the track and stuff, he runs really fast. You know, he pushes himself to the limit. And even in watching him spar and stuff, he's very hungry and motivated. He wants to learn. That's the main thing. His ability to want to learn, because that's something that every fighter should have, is just the motivation to learn and just keep growing as a fighter.
We saw in his last fight, he came up just short against Tommy Fury, who's a professional boxer. Now he's with Nate Diaz, who, you know, former star of MMA world, but not a boxer necessarily. Having seen Jake Paul up close, do you think he can develop to a stage where he can mix it with pro boxers, at least at a certain level?
Honestly, I think he can. Uh, I feel like if he fought Tommy Fury again, he learning what he's learning now, because he has a new trainer and everything with Third and everything, and so I feel like with what he's learning now, I feel like it would be a better fight, and I feel like Jake Paul could beat Tommy Fury.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite close, I suppose, in the first fight. A lot of people talk about the pressure that was on Tommy and, you know, not to lose more than to win. And
Yeah.
that could have played a factor. But yeah, I mean, Jake, as you said, he's someone who wants to consistently develop and get better. You must have admiration for that because I guess, unlike a standard prospect in boxing, he doesn't need to do it. Like, he's got enough money independently of boxing to do what he wants with his life.
Oh yeah, I have nothing but respect for him, and admiration, because even though he is a millionaire, multimillionaire, he trains like he's poor.
Mm.
You know, he trains like he's really fighting to make money like that, even though he has the money, you know. So he doesn't have to do it, but he's doing it. And that's really what I respect about him.
And tell us what's next for you. Obviously, training wise, you've just been out to Puerto Rico, but when are we next going to see you out in the ring?
Yeah, so September 8th, I'll be fighting at the Motor City Casino in Detroit. And then after that, could be fighting in early November. I'm not sure all the details on that, but it should be a bigger fight than September 8th.
This current kind of boxing boom in the Motor City must be great for you. I mean, we saw obviously Mayweather's from where you're from, but we never really saw him much when he got to the top in his hometown or his home state. Now it's just seems to be growing and growing in Detroit.
Yeah, I guess it was the perfect timing for me to, turn pro, because I've been watching it grow and continue to grow. And now with the Clarissa Shields fight, headlining there and just being on her undercard, and then the matchroom fight that just happened with Baumgartner.
Baumgartner, yeah.
Being on that card too was just a great experience. It's great seeing Detroit boxing grow.
Oh, awesome. Well, long may it continue. And yeah, we should catch up again soon, maybe just before your next fight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Good stuff. All right. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you. And yeah. Oh, actually, before I let you go, just tell people out there how they can find you on the socials so they can follow you a bit more closely.
Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Instagram, JJ_Pagan, all lowercase letters.
Excellent. I'm sure you'll get some followers from that. Really appreciate it. And yeah, let's catch up again soon.
For sure. Thanks for having me.